The annual Milken Institute Asia Summit, which addresses pressing issues in the Asia-Pacific, will continue to be held in Singapore from 2026 to 2028. And this follows a Memorandum of Understanding signed by the Singapore Tourism Board and Milken Institute. STB says the move deepens collaboration between the two organizations. Now, the signing comes at a time of global uncertainties and rapid changes in the region. The event provides business leaders and senior government officials with a platform to address challenges like geopolitics and climate change. They then propose actionable solutions. STB says the commitment reaffirms Singapore's position as the world's best city for the meetings, incentives, conferences and exhibition sector. Now, to tell us more, I'm now joined by Curtis Chin, Chair of Senior Fellows and Senior Advisor at Milken Institute. Also with us is Dr. Edward Koh, Executive Director of Conventions, Meetings and Incentive Travel at the Singapore Tourism Board. Welcome, gentlemen, and thank you so much for being here tonight with us.
Thanks, Shahid.
So, Dr. Koh, let's begin with you. What does this partnership say about Singapore's standing on the global stage, particularly in cementing its relevance, its reputation as a leading MICE destination for high-level events like the Asia Summit?
Well, I'll broadly say that the fact that the Milken Institute decided to anchor its Asia Summit in Singapore all the way to 2028 is a very strong signal of trust that Destination Singapore can deliver. I would also say that this is a very strong mark of confidence that Singapore is able to convene thought leaders, policymakers, investors, and even innovation tech innovators to come to Singapore to discuss critical issues, but importantly, propose actionable solutions. And Singapore's standing, I think, is really much reflected by the hosting of these important, I would say, thought leadership events. I mean, there's Milken Institute's Asia Summit. There's also the Bloomberg New Economy Forum. There's also Chai Xing Asian New Vision Forum. Quite a few. You'll be familiar with the World Economic Forum's Young Global Leaders Forum that was held just a couple of months back.
And it's a matter of trust, as Dr. Koh mentioned. Mr. Chin, turning to you, the Asia Summit has been an annual affair in Singapore over the last decade. How does this MOU deepen that relationship further? In what ways do you see this partnership shaping the summit's evolution moving forward?
Well, I have to echo what Edward said. It's like success builds success. I mean, what a terrific initial, now 12 Asia Summits. You mentioned all those other ones, but I have to say, clearly when we look at the schedule of terrific MICE events in Singapore, for me, the Asia Summit stands out. And in many ways for us, the MOU underscores a shared partnership and a shared commitment to these grand convenings. You know, it's about connecting and convening. You know, for me, what's been so terrific is our partnership with the Singapore government. For us, Singapore is our partner of choice. And you think about all these other events here or around the region, you know, there's such demand. Oh, can you move the Asia Summit to this market or that market? But this is about a continued commitment to have the Asia Summit here in this amazing location. And we're so honored to work with Singapore because we always get that prime the 3 days before the F1 night race. I mean, so what a terrific Singapore week it is. So honored that the Milken Institute will continue to be part of that amazing week, really on the world calendar, because everyone pays attention to F1.
It is quite timely, isn't it? If I may ask very quickly, in practical terms, what new formats, themes, or partnerships can we expect at future editions as a result of this deeper collaboration?
You know, it's really, what's been so great is Singapore is also about adaptation. You know, I remember during the pandemic area, we brought in our chair, Michael Milken, through hologram, but I think we won Best Event Organizer during that period. So this is about adapting, and it's almost about also doubling down on the kind of the premise of the Milken Institute of the power of connecting and convening. So maybe there'll be new technologies that we'll use to connect and convene people, but ever evolving. You know, we're always based here in Singapore, but always we're really based at the Four Seasons Hotel, you know, because it's outside that whole F1 race area, but it's also thinking about how do we unite people, how do we bring together when there's people that Traffic is a challenge sometimes during the F1. So how do we use technology and new means to connect people? I think we'll see that play out in these next 3 years.
Speaking of adapting, Dr. Koh, cost pressures and talent shortages that continue to weigh on the MICE industry. How is Singapore working to stay ahead of the competition, whether from cities like Tokyo, Kuala Lumpur, or Hong Kong, while continuing to offer values to event organizers and delegates?
Yeah, this is a good question, and the question asked of us quite often. I think I'll start with the event organizers, many of them that chose Singapore. And it's an interesting revelation that they chose Singapore for just a few main attributes that sometimes we take for granted. The top few will really be safety and trust. These are really issues, these are really hygiene factors sometimes we think, but increasingly important in today's world. Delegates appreciate safety. Organizers trust that Singapore's MICE suppliers, hotels and venues are able to deliver efficient services without any unnecessary delays or unnecessary surprises. And apart from that, the interesting one and not complicated one, it's really time savings. Singapore's transport system is efficient. We get from one point to another very quickly. From city centre to Sentosa or to Expo, just 20-25 minute ride. Singaporeans might say, well, take more than 50 minutes. But foreign delegates will say just less than half an hour to get from point to point. And for an event with 1,000 people, 1,000 delegates, for every hour saved, that's 1,000 delegate hours. That's a lot of time, a lot of opportunity cost saved. The final one will be efficiency, really. Our 6 purpose-built MICE venues, our major hotels, they deliver events day in, day out. They're very efficient, I would say, well-oiled machines, and they can deliver events seamlessly and hassle-free for our foreign clients.
So accessibility and efficiency, I guess that's key, right, during big events like this. Mr. Chin, this partnership is unfolding against a backdrop of rising geopolitical uncertainty. How is the Milken Institute adapting its strategy to stay relevant and impactful in Asia's shifting political and economic landscape?
Well, what a great question. That's what the world is talking about. But actually what we've seen, it's made the Milken Institute events even more important because of this time of, challenges and conflict. What we need are convenings that bring together in a neutral space, both sides, the power again of connecting and convening. So in a way, we're doubling down on our strategy that we're using this amazing destination of Singapore to really connect people. Sometimes we talk, but they don't remember what we say. So I try and boil it down to what I call, I think some of it, have people even seen it in an ad I did for Singapore, what I call CIT. And so it's really about the power of connection that Singapore offers through technology and other means. It's also about the infrastructure. So honored to meet Melissa, your head, and hear about the wonderful plans Singapore is doing to really develop even further the airport, the port facilities for cruise ships. But it's the infrastructure is amazing here. And the T, I don't think people think enough about, which isn't technology, because I'm going to include that in connectivity, but it's the talent. It's the people of Singapore that are so amazing. And we've seen, as what I said, play out the power of the people, our partners that we work here, the hotels. So it's not just, the government provided wonderful roads and a subway. It's really the service people here. It is such an amazing destination, Singapore, and so great that we're partnered with them.
So it's all about the CIT here.
The CIT.
All right, Mr. Chin. Dr. Koh, very quickly, in a time where cooperation is more crucial than ever, is there room for collaboration with other countries to grow the MICE industries globally? Well,
competition is stiff, very stiff. Very stiff if you look at it as a zero-sum game for the MICE industry. And collaboration is actually is key if we collectively want to grow the global MICE pie, for example. I will start with the local front, for example. We win some events, we lose some events. There are some events, but those events I'm most proud of are those that we've lost a couple of times, but we eventually won it. One key example is the World Congress of Anesthesiologists. We lost twice. After 8 years, we won it back. But on the global front, we can also collaborate. Singapore is part of this Best Cities Global Alliance, 13 members, competing cities. And Dubai and Tokyo is in there. what we do is we share best practices, suitable intelligence on meetings that rotate around the world. Meaning if it's hosted in Singapore this year, it wouldn't come back to Singapore 10, 20 or even more years later. And thus we have the flexibility to share. So we have received information from Melbourne, for example, on the Rotary International Convention. We've shared information on the World Congress of Dermatology with another partner, Guadalajara, in Mexico. So sharing is possible. Of course, we can't share everything, but it's a good start, I would say.
All right. It's all about collaboration. I appreciate your insights, gentlemen. Thank you so much for being here tonight with us. That was Curtis Chin, Chair of Senior Fellows and Senior Advisor at Milken Institute, and Dr. Edward Koh, Executive Director of Conventions, Meetings and Incentives, Travel at SDP. Thank you, gentlemen.